That's unpleasant.
Very unpleasant, and his attitude is even more unpleasant. When he finds out that you all have killed his master, he doesn't try to escape, but he's not happy with the situation at all. He kind of wants... He doesn't ask in so many words, but he's kind of wondering what's going to happen to him now. So what do you all do with Jolnag?
It's up to you. What do you
Where
want?
does he want to go?
You ask him where he wants to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
want him.
He says-
We're not planning on killing him.
A pleasant place with pillows, an ocean of wine, and naked, voluptuous women.
Will you settle for a city in the desert?
And he looks at you just with scorn and bitterness.
It's a nice city in the desert.
I turn and look at Fred. Do you have any suggestions?
He says, I would run it through with my sword, but I'm afraid I would get it on my sword.
Do you think the Flumphs might be able to help him? He's addressing that to Fred as much as anyone, because Fred's like obsessed with that place.
Fred thinks that's a great idea.
And I would say to him, so long as he means us no harm, we have no reason to harm him. Eventually we can drop him off somewhere.
Okay, well, so you're going to leave the question of Jalnag alone for now?
Yeah. Yeah, but we will take a look in those stables.
And now they're empty. Nope, the horses are gone.
Okay.
I will ask him...
This is where the steeds of Light, Dark, and Twilight would have been kept when the knights weren't using them.
Gotcha. I will ask him, what is he doing now that the horses are gone? Does he have any... What was he doing here?
Answering ridiculous questions from the look of it.
Oh, you're a pleasant one. Well, yeah, I say leave the miserable son of a bitch. We'll get back to him later.
So then there's Area
We've only
H.
got 3 doors right now. One of them leads to the ethereal planes, and the other 2 lead to Hells. He should probably be a little more polite.
Area H, I believe, was Black Iron, I think. Oops, that's the wrong... Hold on. I think I loaded H2 by mistake. I'm trying to go in order here. H1. There we go.
Oh, H1. I like H1.
And H1 is the bedroom.
Hey!
I don't like
It
H1.
doesn't quite look like this anymore.
No, not quite.
No, it
H2...
looks
Like, Khalil's very recently been to all these rooms.
Well, was there nothing in that back area, or were those just entrances to nothing?
There's nothing now. Anything that was in there is fucking destroyed.
Gotcha.
No, there's no hidden doors or anything. No, Area H2 you guys clean out. This is the treasure vaults.
Oh, yeah.
So you've killed the guardian in the middle, but I mean, there's still mounds
When you
of
say
treasure in each of
cleaned
these rooms.
out,
No,
You killed the
those are-
guardian here, but you haven't actually cleaned out the treasure. And the
Are
traps
the-
on the treasure are still in place.
I was gonna ask if those were still there.
A simple
Okay.
dispel magic won't cut it. But if Arik and Eldove work in conjunction over the course of several weeks, I would say that they could weaken the defenses enough to put the treasure to use.
Well, Tarin can cast 64 dispel magics a day.
But yeah, just throwing dispel magic at it's just not going to be
Okay.
enough, though.
Okay.
can we teleport stuff out of there? Because
No.
we don't necessarily need to weaken the treasure vaults. Like,
You can't.
I went into this treasure vault and I was fine.
Well, I mean, you have to make a
Because
saving
you make your
throw going
save.
into each one. But
That's fine. I'll go in and I'll come out and I'll go in and I'll come out until it works, and then I'll.
I'm gonna say
everything out of
say
it.
that doesn't work 'cause that's stupid. What actually will work is if you and Arik, over the course of a couple weeks, work on the problem of making the treasure vault safe. That's what's gonna work.
Okay, let's put a
Can we
pin in it
instead
and
of
do that later.
just breaking it, can we learn how to control it?
That's what I'm saying you and Arik will be able to do over the matter of a couple of weeks. It's
Okay,
gonna take
yeah,
that long
I
to
know.
study and work on it. And I'm saying you and Arik because you have a great font of natural magic and Arik has divine intervention and whatnot. So putting your abilities to use, having a different style of magic, each of you that Baba Yaga use, you'll find ways to circumvent it, ways to get
Oh
around it.
yeah, that's fine. The only thing that was concerning me was that you said dispel it, and I was like, I don't necessarily want to break the vaults.
If you were to remove the magic, you wouldn't have a way to put it back in place because you don't have access to Baba Yaga's level of spellcasting. But what I'm saying is you and Arik can work together to safely get the treasure out of the vaults over the course of a couple weeks of work. This is directly from the module, I shit you not, the equivalent of 1 million gold pieces in treasure in each of these 4 rooms.
Jesus.
But nothing magical.
Well, we can
built a nice castle with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
If
more
this was
money
first
than.
edition, I'd have just reached level 26.
How much money is on the world?
I look at Eldove and shrug.
So this room, you guys poked your head into a couple times, but thank God I'm so glad we didn't actually have to do anything with this fucking room. Look at this stupidness.
Oh my god, what
I
is
love
this?
it.
Do you see this? There's no encounter. There's nothing in here. Just every 16 rounds, this door lines up and you can go through it. And if you're only halfway through it, you take a shitload of crushing damage. That's it.
Oh, I love it.
Fuck this.
Wait,
room. This is
when you say a
stupid.
shitload, is it even enough to kill us, though?
Yes.
Or is it just an inconvenient amount of crushing damage?
Hold on, let me look up the actual.
It smushes you in the walls. I think that's enough.
Well, I'm just saying, we're very high-level characters. Like, it'd be even funnier if it was complete garbage, and it's just like, it does 70 damage, and it's like, alright.
Khalil, get through there.
I guess I'll cast armor first.
Yeah.
But there's like no reason to go through this room. Like this room goes to the Stairway of Souls. This door goes to the reception hall. And
There's nothing in the other one.
There's a secret door down here that goes back to the treasure vaults. That's it.
That's beautiful. I love
so
it.
dumb. So
I'm
dumb.
glad we never
Now,
came
see,
here.
keep in mind that damage works differently from second to fifth. It says 6d6 points of crushing damage, but I would have blown that up a lot.
Okay.
I would have turned that at least into like 10d10 at least.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just saying,
second
even
edition characters had way
10d10.
fewer hit points. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
D10 might not kill a lot of us.
H4 is everyone's favorite room. I think we had more fun in this room than anywhere else in the entire hut.
Oh, is this the fucking skeleton closet?
Skeleton closet.
H4 is the skeleton closet.
I missed this room.
Let's
Is
all
there
take a
zero
moment to.
treasure in this room?
There is zero treasure in the skeleton closet. It is just a trap.
I
This
love
room
this
is a delight.
This would have been very different with Tarin too, because he would have been able to see.
So
Yeah, with tearing around.
then you have Area M, which is the last of the level 2 areas, and these have the bronze doors turned green with verdigris. So the first one was the creature cabinets, where all the little vampiric critters. There's no treasure here; it's just a trap.
Okay.
God damn it.
This fucking hut.
Area M2, another personal favorite of mine. I loved this
The
room.
thing that's so baffling is it gives us so much money that, like, even with no magic items in this world, we can still buy magic items.
This is Area M2. This was the World of Dreams, everybody's favorite.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good room.
This is wonderful.
Then there's M3, which was the testing labs.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And then the last room of level 2 was M4,
The
which is
armor.
the armory. And
Did
after
we
that is
ever
level
get-
3.
Did we ever get Questric's staff?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you
did.
gave him the Staff of
Turned that
Power,
to
and he
him.
said if you would bring him his staff, he would let you keep his Robe of Useful Objects
Okay.
as payment. And you guys
Did,
never made it to level 3.
Alright,
Nope.
yeah, we have
how
that
did
riddle
one-
to solve.
How did one get there?
You have the riddle
Let's try
to solve.
solving the riddle in the
Okay.
stables, and then we can probably do it.
Oh,
I
that's
think
right.
our plan was
To hold hands.
holding hands, and there was another part of it. I think it was frogs.
We gotta kiss a tree.
Oh yeah, that was it.
That's right.
I forget how we came to that conclusion.
And
but I'm
the
pretty sure you gotta
level
kiss a
3
tree.
is inside the orchard, right?
Level 3 would be, folded inside. So any door that goes into G3, which is the orchard, will go into level 3.
Yeah, level 3 is in the orchard.
I don't remember kiss a tree.
So, yeah, but you did have the riddle. What was the riddle? What did the riddle say?
Press
it's in
upon my wood its lips, and I'll become your handsome prince. I'll take you to a place that's new if you enter as lovers do.
Okay. So,
Yeah, that's why I said a frog, because we saw the frogs that the closets turned into,
Right.
and that's clearly implying a frog. And then you guys said holding hands for the second part.
and you do have this secret door here that leads into the orchard. And it's a wooden door. What do y'all do?
First, we're gonna go get one of those closet frogs.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, their bodies are still floating in the pool.
Yeah, I'll grab one out,
Sure.
and I'll press it onto the door,
Okay.
the riddle. The riddle door. Who wants to hold my hand?
I'll hold your hand.
I'll hold Zook's hand, and I'll go through the door. I'll
Eldove,
leave the frog behind.
roll a d4. I'm sorry, roll a d3, so a d6, and cut it in half.
Yeah.
Wait, will you roll it?
D6, cut in half.
Roll it
round
together.
I already put my dice away, so
Oh,
Alright, so that's 3.
that brings you to this room.
I left the frog behind so you guys can come through.
Is the understanding that if you guys don't show back up, we're to go back through because we assume it worked?
yeah, come on through.
Okay. Tarin will push the frog up, and I guess I'll take Orphan's hand and go through.
And
Alright,
what,
we'll go.
the death trap at this point is inert. Without Baba Yaga's influence, it no longer functions. But in this room, there is a force cage here, surrounding a hole in the floor, and there are mirrors inside all of these crevices. Ooh. The door you entered from was right here.
Oh wait, time out. So if Zook and Eldove went through, and then Orphan and Destil went through, that just leaves the two McDohls together.
Yep.
I
So
stare
it's
at
both
Khalil.
NPCs.
I stare at Khalil and sigh.
And you walk in hand.
Yeah.
And searching in this room, you find another door here. This one,
We'll have to leave Fred behind.
this one
no,
leads
Fred-
back out to level 2. This door also leads back out to level 2. Then you find a secret door here.
No, Fred and Daniel can go together.
Basically, level 3 consists of 3 levels of the death trap. Like there's this level here that has 4 mirrors. This is G3A. 4 mirrors in the wall. A pit in the middle of the room that looks into the negative energy plane. The idea was anybody who stands in the middle of the 4 mirrors, or anybody stands in front of a mirror, I'm sorry. What's the actual wording here?
If it's just
The
in front of a
mirrors-
mirror, one of us is going through there.
Well, it's inert now. It doesn't function anymore. If you'd come to level 3 without killing Baba Yaga, it would have been awful. The mirrors on the wall are part of a gigantic warp marble designed to contain force, or death, the force death in the middle of the room. They're incomplete, but they're still dangerous. A character passing in front of them is dimensionally twisted as though subjected to a duo dimension spell. The effect is permanent until dispelled.
Ouch.
Sounds
What is
bad.
What does a duo dimension spell?
What does it sound like it does?
Your paper cutout. Your link
You-
between,
yeah,
link
you,
between
you,
worlds.
you turn into Paper Mario.
Nice.
And then you suffer a shitload of force damage when it's dispelled. The second level of the death trap is G3B. That is this diamond-shaped room here. And this one spins around and around and around. Whenever it spins, anybody in the sides of the room, any of these 4 wings, get thrown back into the corner and are unable to move. What happens in the middle? Oh, anybody in front of the mirrors in the middle are locked in place with a timelessness spell.
Ouch.
After the 10th round of spinning, anybody trapped in the middle is imprisoned, which works like Trap the Soul, as a 9th level wizard spell. So basically there's no saving against it. And you become trapped in the mirror forever.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Let's not stay in here.
There's
I
a
gotta
hole
tell
in
you,
this.
Orphan, I'm starting to get kind of creeped out by mirrors.
There's a hole in the ceiling of this room. Climbing up through it with taking you to this room, which is where you all found the door. This is G3C, and it's pretty awful too. You got the force cage in the middle of the room for one. Anybody who tries to interact with the force cage falls victim to a binding spell. What did the mirrors do here? Oh, the mirrors didn't do anything nasty in this room because it hadn't been completed yet. But all 3 of those rooms have a secret door that leads to G3D, which is the very center of level 3, which means it's the center of the center of the center of the hut, which is Baba Yaga's command room. So let me just clear this away.
The bridge of the starship terrible.
Basically, you've got a ring of mirrors around the entire room, and each one of these sees into a scrying relay in a different room. This is where Baba Yaga keeps her broom and cauldron, which actually have crumbled to dust now that she's dead. Unfortunately for you.
Unfortunately for Nodal, who can't go wee.
And then you've got the chair in the center of the control room.
Wait. Can the cauldron be attuned?
No, the cauldron is a pile of dust by the time you get to this room.
Oh, that's a bummer.
What about the broom we took from her dead body?
Turned to dust when she died.
So how did we convince the Cyclops that she's dead?
Oh, yeah.
She was.
We did
She has a
something
different.
else.
She had a different broomstick. This broom and
Okay.
cauldron count as one magic item here. Basically, the broom she was holding in the room where she was fighting you, she was using as a spell focus. It was,
Okay,
it
so
was,
yeah,
it
that
was a
was a
separate
different
broom.
broom. Yeah.
No, this thing here counts as like one magic item, which ties into the lore of Baba Yaga, how she flies around in her cauldron. Some versions of the myth have her riding around using a mortar and pestle instead of a broom and cauldron. So yeah, you've got a chair in the center of the control room.
I
Do you
am
guys think I should
absolutely going to sit in that.
Eldove, casting Identify on the chair.
Yeah.
You're overwhelmed with images of what this hut is capable of. And requires attunement by a wizard.
By a wizard?
By a wizard. Baba Yaga was a wizard.
That's horseshit.
I know what we can do. I know.
This
I
is
know
the
what we
dumbest
should do.
thing that could have possibly happened.
This is the best thing.
We're gonna put Cube in this chair, and it's gonna be amazing.
So, we're turning Cube into the mechanical brain at the center of Baba
Oh,
Yaga's
don't
magic
act
hut.
like he won't enjoy it.
He's in the center of the center square of the center level of the center of the hut.
This one controls space and time.
That feels. I'm willing to bet that feels incredibly appropriate to Cube,
Now-
being that much the center.
Eldove, here's the
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
What kept the hut working, you were half right when you guessed a couple weeks ago, the force of Baba Yaga's personality. The hut is semi-sentient. So whoever sits in the chair and tries to attune to it has to overcome the lingering force of that personality that still exists in the hut. The issue with Cube is that he is not at all charismatic.
Can I help him?
Can I take one level
find
of
help.
wizard?
What are you doing to
Like-
help?
Am I able to, while he's in communion with this chair, like, is there some kind of magical effect that we can research in his book that will allow me to enter that same realm with him and assist him?
His book's not going to give you any benefit at all. No, it's a wizard spell book. You have
Well,
the only thing I can
I'm
think
not gonna
of.
cast it.
You've got your spell that would give him advantage on the ability check.
I was going to cast Foresight on him.
That would work too.
But, alternately, can I get... How long would it take me to train to become a level 1 wizard?
I already know wizard rituals. If
Years.
anyone's becoming a level 1 wizard and riding this thing, it's me.
No, you guys would have to undergo actual wizard training to take a level 1 wizard.
But
Which
yeah,
means you'd have to find it. I mean, it would just be a matter of going to the School of Senses and signing up and studying
Yeah.
for several months to a year.
I have already studied with the School of Senses to learn wizard rituals. If anyone's learning wizard rituals and taking control of this chair, you failed out of wizard school.
That's true, you did.
No, I didn't actually fail out. It was more that I dropped. I got an incomplete.
So Tarin walks into the School of Senses and they're like, oh, well, we'll just, have your grades forward over. And they just look at them.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
We're gonna need you to build a wing on the School of Senses with your 4 million gold treasure hoard that you just inherited.
Do we know any wizards we would at all trust in here? I don't think we do we?
Cube.
Before we say that, is that a literal solution? Would be learning 1 level of wizard and being able to control this chair? Like, would that actually work? Because if it
Yeah,
would,
there's no-
Eldove absolutely wants to do that.
I don't think there's any particular... When it comes to magic items, there's no, level restrictions or anything.
Wait, it's a magic item?
The hut
Wait,
counts as a magic item for this purpose, yes.
Zook is not that charismatic. Before you say what you're about to say, Zook has a plus. I mean, he's got a +2 to charisma. He could try it. I just don't know if it wouldn't hurt him in the process.
No, nothing bad would happen if you sit in the chair and try to attune and it rejects you. You're not going to get your brain taken over. It's not going to destroy you.
Nope.
It's just going to overwhelm.
cast-
It would be the same as trying to attune to, that sentient sword you guys found, the evil undead controlling sword. A sentient
yeah.
magic item, it can, if you attune to it and it wants to control you, it can be bad. But this hut doesn't want anybody but Baba Yaga attuned to it.
I mean, just for the purpose of getting this thing back to, the plane of existence we're from.
Yeah, this is absolutely a good short-term plan.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
The only
Zook
problem with it is that once Zook goes back to his hometown, it'll be useless. So that's why, this is the short-term version.
But then it'll at least be somewhere. Okay, so yeah, give me
I'll give you
foresight.
another foresight.
Okay. Now, the good news is Zook's charisma is higher than Baba Yaga's by a lot.
Oh,
Nice.
The other thing
Yes.
is, just in case you're going to take a disadvantage from something, I'll just also give you my version. So that you have two things buffing you.
Alright, so I'm gonna roll for... What am I rolling for?
Roll a charisma check.
Alright, so my first stab at it is a 17.
17. So Zook sits down in the chair, and you begin... the magic energy is way, way more than anything you've ever experienced in your life. All of your... I mean, you have some experience with magic items that are kind of outside your wheelhouse because you're a rogue. And it's always strange using those things, but this is way different. And you feel some part of Baba Yaga still in this house, pushing against you, trying to push you out, but you manage to suppress her in all parts. And everyone else standing in the room, after Zook sits in the chair for about 2.5 hours, suddenly all the mirrors in the room start lighting up.
Fantastic.
Looking in the room's different parts of the hut. Zook, you have control over the hut at this point.
Wow.
This is the best thing ever. Alright,
Zook's dancing hut. Great.
I want to
go,
put the
big
hut...
Zook?
I want to put the hut, am I still conscious? Can I still talk to these dudes? I'm not
Yeah,
in some
absolutely.
sort of weird...
No, you're not in a stasis. While you're sitting in this chair, let me see if I can get a description of the chair real quick. Sorry.
This is Zook's best day ever.
It's a large, high... You're not comfortable in this chair because it was made for Baba Yaga's butt and you're a gnome. But it's a high-backed chair carved from a single piece of ivory, inscribed with runes inlaid of silver and gold. Plush velvet cushion pads the sheet. The back of the chair has a series of shelves, and that's where you find Baba Yaga's spellbooks.
Nice. I asked
those
Tarin,
cubes?
should I just park this thing by our inn for now?
Why don't you put it out in the hills, overlooking the hill, overlooking the fortress?
Now, Zook, you find controls to move the hut, raise it up off the ground onto its chicken legs, and walk around, and you become attuned to music, like festival music, like carnival music almost. And as you focus on it more and more, the hut begins to dance. You feel... nobody inside the house can feel it, but you feel the chicken legs outside start to dance in a mesmerizing way. After a few minutes of that, the hut leaves the ethereal plane and goes where?
Back to Trinus.
Where on Trennis?
Where did you say, Tarin? I was taking Tarin's suggestion.
They're just a hill overlooking our inn.
Okay, yeah. Somewhere on a hill overlooking the inn.
Okay. And you focus on the hills around the end of the Blue Wormling. Come on, Immiger. Catch up. Let's go.
How much do you like Immiger?
Why is Immiger being a butt today?
You love Immiger. You love Immiger so much.
Immiger is like... How can I put this without sounding too crass? It's like a big bowl of smegma.
Wow.
You guys know what I mean, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah. So you got what's his face from Red Dwarf and stuff?
Okay. So you do manage to you focus on the world of Trennis, and you feel the hut leaving the ethereal plane, going back to the prime material. And more than that, you focus in on the hills that surround your inn, and before you know it, the hut is resting, dancing on one of the hillsides, overlooking the inn of the Blue Wormling.
Okay. And I set her down.
The hut comes,
And-
settles to a stop.
Do the skulls pop back up in a perimeter around it?
They do indeed. In fact, the land around the hut magically terraforms itself to make a flat clearing
Cool.
on the hillside, and the skulls come back. And you
All right.
instantly hear, and you instantly have knowledge of all the secret words and riddles and whatnot. There Depending on which room you use to get into level 3, the riddle was different. I'm curious to see if you guys can solve the other 2 riddles as easily. I imagine you can. But the riddle, if you were to go in from G1, which room was G1? I don't even remember now, but no flower smells as sweet as the one that you can eat. To see things you've not seen before, trace its sign upon the door with a hand that's died before. I'll post that in the Twitch chat here.
When you say died,
D-I-E-D?
D-I-E-D.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like it's got something to do with the hands in the greenhouse.
Yeah,
That's
I think
what
you
I'm
could use one of
thinking.
those hands. I just can't think of what the.
it sounds like a tomato.
Is the tomato a flower you can eat?
It says...
Yeah.
So
There
draw
were-
a tomato on the door
I
with
don't,
one of the
I don't,
green
I don't know
thumb
that a
hands?
tomato's a flower. But tomatoes
Well,
are
what
fruit.
can you...
Oh, a sunflower.
Oh,
You can't eat a
right,
sunflower.
right.
You
So
can
what-
eat the seeds.
Yeah, sunflower
Okay, yeah,
seeds.
so sunflower then. A sunflower with one of those
Because
hands?
the sunflowers are in that room, so take one of the
Yeah.
hands from the rooms and draw a sunflower on the door.
The other option is one of those hands from the Room of Lost Souls.
Right.
Stairway of Lost Souls.
But I think
Well, the
it
hands in
seems
that
like
room
it
are
might be
only
related.
illusory. They're not real.
Oh, okay.
So what would you have done?
Yeah, we'd have gotten one of the creepy
Or,
crawlers.
actually, my hand. I would have done it with my hand.
That's true. It's true.
And
It's
what
happened.
would you have actually done to open the door? What's the solution?
I would have drawn a sunflower with my hand.
And that would have
On the
worked.
door.
That's the solution. It
Dude,
says
there's
you
a-
use one of the undead crawling claws from the conservatory, or you could use the hand of a PC that's actually died and been resurrected. And then going in from the third room, the third direction, the riddle is, like a king in the land of the blind, so enter through my gates. And if you would travel far, in your pocket carry a star.
Well, I know
given
one-
given the cloak of stars to Khalil and sent him through.
And send him
Well,
through.
just winking would work, and passing through while winking.
Yeah, that would work perfectly. I didn't think of Khalil, but yeah, just putting the robe on Khalil would definitely have worked. It also says you could just carry any of the star charts, or just draw a picture of a star will do.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That's-
just drawing seems to be working, so I would wonder if drawing a star would work. So yeah, we would have. Where were those clues at? Just out of curiosity.
In each of the level 2 G rooms, the only one you found was in the stables. The other
Which are
two,
the level 2 G rooms?
the Pit Fiend's lair.
Which we
so-
didn't explore.
Yeah, we wouldn't have found that.
Oh, you don't know. The
thinking-
clue must have been elsewhere, because another place you could have done it would have been the Escher Stairs.
Oh, the Escher Stairs. I
Yeah.
feel like we searched that pretty
No,
well.
there was. I don't know where the clue is. Then I have to go through
Well,
the
I
whole
mean, it
module
was
again.
super. It was super dark in there anyway. Like we barely found those doors to get out.
But yeah, there were clues in the mansion that told you the riddles. But yeah, Zook has control of the hut.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not planning. Zook has no interest in having long-term control of the hut, but he is fine controlling it until such time as Eldove can get his wizarding level. I
And
assume that'll
Eldove
be-
is willing to put that off as long as Zook is willing to adventure with him. Because I have Eldove has no problem with Zook controlling the hut, as long as Zook isn't just going to go chill back in his hometown.
Can we do something to make sure no one gets themselves killed trying to come into this thing?
Yeah,
Can we,
that's my concern
Yeah.
at this point.
What do you do?
does illusory script persist if I skywrite something over the hut?
No, it wouldn't last forever unless you.
I mean, we can just station guards. I mean, we have men-at-arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, let's do. Let's have a rotating guard up here just to tell people don't go near the hut.
The illusory script
We see-
lasts for 10 days.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, putting a
actually pretty
giant sign in the sky saying "Don't come in" is basically just telling people, "Hey, you need to come on in."
I can cast illusory script, so
Well, let me put it this way: if you guys walked up and found a mysterious hut that had a sign saying "Don't come in," what would you do?
We just did that, except
Yes,
with no
exactly.
sign.
Yeah, but how many high-level adventuring parties can there be in the world? We're practically little gods now.
Yeah, you
More
are.
than you think.
So now that you have the hut under your control, what are your next long-term goals?
Okay, so I want to try to get what's her name out of the hut now and tell
Oh.
see if she'll come out. Now that we're back on land, say, hey,
Vasily?
go our inn.
I'm
Yeah,
starting to
Vasily.
suspect you didn't intend us to actually just grab the hut for ourselves. So I'm wondering if we can completely skip that whole mountain thing and just hut up there.
I actually was, because the idea was if you had chased Baba Yaga into the tapestry, she would have no way to keep you from taking control of the hut.
Yeah.
No, the end game was for you guys to take control of the hut. I was planning.
So the question is, can we still skip that whole mountain thing and just hut up there?
The problem is that Zook doesn't know where to go. He can't take it to a place he hasn't seen before, or at least studied in some detail.
Zook, can you do anything about the internal layout of the hut? Can you make it so we don't have to take acid damage or a ridiculous drop of faith
Zook,
to get in?
you can do no such thing.
I was gonna say, can I rearrange the rooms? Nope. Apparently I cannot, but we can teleport at will within the hut now, because we have a shitload of these things.
Yeah, we do, actually.
The other question is, does Zook have the ability to teleport within the hut?
He does not.
Okay. Now that I have complete control of the hut, can I tell if the last Marlith thing, did she just get the hell out of the hut somehow?
She's nowhere in the hut at all.
Damn it!
I will let everybody throw an Arcana check to have a good guess on where she might have went.
She went through the door.
Yeah, she went
But which door is the question?
The one
the
to Beator.
Beator door, I assume.
Make an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Someone just rolled a 20.
Who rolled that 20?
Tarin got it. You got a 20.
Tarin, it doesn't make sense to you that the Marilith would have gone to Beator.
Oh, I'm sorry. To the,
More likely she escaped out the door to the Grey Waste. In fact, you would imagine that's where Baba Yaga found her.
Yeah.
That's where she managed to enlist her help. So she took Arik's staff and walked out into the Grey Wastes.
Damn it! Sorry, Arik. I was really hoping to get that staff back for you.
I have a question.
Okay.
How did Baba Yaga get all those demons?
Which ones?
The Mariliths, just as an example.
She went out into the Grey Waste, and there were some Mariliths nearby, and she said she had an artifact of great power that she would pay them with if they would act as her bodyguards.
Okay, I was hoping the answer was she used the hut to summon them somehow. But no.
She could summon devils and demons, but she's a little more planner savvy than you guys are. So more likely, she actually had a door that went to the Grey Waste, so she went out and actually bartered with them. In the time where you guys were gone, doing whatever you were doing back at the inn, she didn't even have to move the hut. She just went into the Grey Wastes and negotiated with some Mariliths. The Horn Devils she got as part of the deal with Locke. The other devils and Yugoloths and whatnot that you fought while you were in the hut, she impressed into service some way or another over the many years she was in control of the hut. So some of them she probably summoned there, but those were mostly lower level fiends. The Marliths
we
are
can
very
buy
high
you a
level
new
fiends.
staff.
So, Tarin is going to take the hourglass. Is it still in the receiving room?
The hourglass?
Yeah.
What hourglass?
The one we were using to track the 2 weeks or whatever.
Oh, yes, it's still there.
3 months.
He will take that, he will shatter it, and he will have it mounted above the wormling in the inn.
Oh, you know what? It's actually not there anymore. I'm sorry. No, she had the table removed from the receiving room. You find it in her control room, though.
Okay.
Doesn't shatter, though. It's a magical item, so you can't just break it like that.
Oh, really? Eldove, tell me what it does.
Yeah, what does it do?
If you... lets you stay a time limit and turn it over, and it runs for that amount of time.
I literally was hoping you were going to say it contains a lot of sand, and if you flip it over, the sand goes from the top to the bottom.
It does that, but the sand takes as long to get to the bottom as you specify. If you tell it 3 months and flip it over, it'll take 3 months for the sand to drain.
Well, that's actually
Does
pretty cool.
Vasilia budge at all if we ask her to come out of the hut now that we've got it close to our inn?
She is very frightened of going out into what she knows to be a new world that she doesn't know anything about.
Does she know what world she came from?
She doesn't know how to answer the question. Like, she wouldn't know the name of the world or anything. She tells you, like, the name of the duchy that her and her family lived in, like the lands they worked, the names of some of the local lords that they served or warred with, but none of them. So none of it's familiar to any of you.
Does she know the constellations and the legends of her town?
She doesn't know anything about that.
We had not just star chips, we had maps of different worlds, didn't we?
No, you had maps of star charts, and then you had the 3 balloons would take on the visage of various worlds the hut has traveled to.
Oh, okay.
But like a 6 or 7 year old girl with no formal geography or astronomy training, looking at those maps would be meaningless to her. She has no education to speak of.
So what Zook's going to do is he's going to tell her to stay as long as she wants. We'll check out on her. We'll make sure that she has food. But he would like her to eventually leave, that they have an inn, they have a place that's protected, that he would like her to come out, but he's not pressuring her. He's telling her, take as long as you want. Recognize that the witch isn't coming back if you stay in your room.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'm not very good at that.
No, you're
I'm
not.
very
She'll go if
Yeah.
you force her to leave, but she's terrified of the prospect.
and that's fair enough. And Zook's just not. He's trying not to pressure. He's hoping that after like a week or so, she'll be willing to come out of the hut.
She knows how to get around the first floor, right?
She knows
Yeah,
how to
she
get
wouldn't
around part of the first level of the hut.
But
And
she wouldn't
knows
have any ways up the acid shaft.
She doesn't need to. I'm just going to tell her if she wants to stay in the hut until she feels safe coming out. I'm going to show her where the ogre pit is and tell her that she can get water from the pool there that'll sustain her.
and
Well, she can
she's-
get to the kitchen, right?
She's terrified of going into the room where she knows the Cyclops to be.
We're going to get the Cyclops out of there.
And she's also very, upset by the idea of not eating food anymore. She finds
But
the
she
whole
can-
business very, very troubling.
Is there
Is the
still food in
kitchen
the
still
kitchen?
producing? Yeah, is the kitchen still producing food or?
Not anymore.
Okay.
If you ask Tarin, he thinks you're kind of babying the kid, and you're just gonna have to pull her out of there because otherwise she'll starve. We're
that's
gonna have
the
to waste
point
a ton
that
of
Eldove's at,
resources
too.
getting her in or out. Like at this point, we're just gonna have to tell this kid, "Hey, look, we have to take you out of here for your own good."
So that's the plan.
That's what Tarin says if you ask him.
And what do you do with her once you get her back
Eldove's
to the
with
inn?
Introduce her to the other little girl.
Yeah, put her in a room with the other little girl. Let them be
Ilya
roommates and
has taken to life at the inn very well, actually. Fila's got her doing chores all over the place. She hasn't lost any weight yet. She's still morbidly obese.
They'll get there.
Fila,
time.
when you bring Vasilia to the hut, because Vasilia is a much slimmer and prettier little girl than Ilya was, Fila dotes on her a little bit.
Aw.
Offers to take her under her wing, and when the time comes, put her to work doing something.
I don't know that we want her under Fila's wing. Fila sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if we want her to learn Fila's profession. But in the short term, I think that she could take care of her.
Okay.
We're bringing this girl anywhere. We're bringing her to magic school.
Yeah. So yeah, Ilya is. She doesn't say anything about it, but you can tell she's brokenhearted because you all made her a promise that you would give the wealth promise to her family, and now it looks like she's never going to see her family again. So, congratulations, everybody! You killed the witch, solved the adventure, and broke a little girl's heart.
We're
Hey,
still
I
gonna
have plans.
we're still gonna try to get her home.
It'll be possible, but it'll be very, very. It's not the kind of thing you're going to do during the campaign. You would have
No,
to
that's-
devote time to it in your
So
epilogue.
Baba Yaga doesn't have like a browser history that we can look through or anything like that.
Nothing of the sort.
My current plan is to get Tarin into a dream with her, and have her try to remember her childhood, and then get Tarin to map down the stars, and then get an unseen servant to go through the star charts.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you'll be able to do, but we're talking about a big expenditure of time.
That sounds like epilogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we bring Cube into the hut? Do we make him the mechanical brain? Is that the plan? Or are we going to leave Zook in charge of it?
No, I trust Zook with the hut more than I trust Cube.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried about Cube just getting overrun by anything that happens to get into the hut.
What do you do? A couple more questions. What do you do with the evil sentient sword?
Can we destroy it? Is it an artifact, or
It's not something you can destroy. It's not going to be easy to destroy it. You have no idea how to destroy it.
Okay.
What happens when we identify it? Like when you say it's an evil sentient sword, like what exactly does it do?
Eldove, when you identify it, you see the 1,000-year history of this sword. You see the place where it was forged in one of the pits of the abyss by a Baelor who wielded it into battle. He fell in battle and it was taken up by a pit fiend who the chaos of the sword then corrupted their side. And this sword is passed hand to hand down through the centuries, and every time it finds a hand, they raise a legion of undead to fight for them, but the legions, in the end, are always destroyed, and the sword seeks out a new owner.
Does the sword require attunement to be shitty?
Yes.
I say we give it to Daniel and ask him to ask Bahamut what to do to it.
And he says that he would be more than happy to take that vile thing and go on a pilgrimage to the highest mountain where Bahamut roosts and see it destroyed, if that is his quest. Daniel,
Yeah, that sounds great.
Daniel's offering, once all is said and done, he recognizes how much of, like, you guys were the linchpin in the success in his holy quest, because he went down like 8 times in that fight. He was like one of those, what do you call it, those like balloon clowns with sand in the bottom. You can't.
Doll?
Yeah, there you go.
He drew a lot of fire though, so props to him for that.
Weebles wobble, but they won't fall down.
He said that he has been in meditation, he's been in prayer, he's convened with his God, and that for the duration of your quest, his sword is yours. He says, if you point it to your enemies, I will see them slain.
Do we want to bring him with us again?
Not on anything that requires diplomacy, but maybe like when we go storm the vaults.
Yeah, that seems like a good plan.
We probably won't want to bring him to the Shadowfell,
But he's probably leveled a couple times from that fight.
I'm going to give Daniel and Fred 2 levels for their part in the hut, yes.
Actually, do we want to send Daniel and Fred? Because I bet this would be a great... How do Daniel and Fred get along? Are they like
terribly?
Fred finds him to be a little like
Stodgy.
off-putting, like humorless, which is very difficult for Fred to get. But Fred is the kind of guy he can get along with anybody.
Because I actually kind of like the idea of sending the two of them on the quest to get rid of that sword, and then I'll contact them with sending when we're ready to go on some assaults on the.
Now, to be clear, when Daniel says to the place where Bahamut roosts, he's talking about Mount Celestia. He's talking about going on a pilgrimage to the Outer Planes.
Can we just drive there?
No, because Zook's never been there.
yeah.
Zook wouldn't be able to direct the hut there. Also, the plane would have a very negative effect on the hut. Bad things would happen if you took the hut there. The hut is great for going between worlds on the prime material and going to parts of the Outer Planes, but the nature of some of the Outer Planes, like Lawful Celestia, exudes just brilliant law and good, so the hut would not fare well there.
Because it defies the laws of physics.
And because
evil,
it's an
chaotic.
evil place. It's actually, Baba Yaga herself is neutral evil, so the hut is neutral evil. In a sense, but he's not saying this is not a task that would be undertaken in a weekend, but he would like to see it. Excuse me, he would like to see it done. It's something that he agrees needs to be done, and he is honored that you would bestow that task to him.
That seems like an excellent thing for him to do after this adventure.
Yeah, that sounds like his epilogue.
Maybe we could send the two of them to Mount Zazak while we do some, and then we'll pick them up later.
Well, you guys were going to take Jolnag to Zrazak.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They could take, because I don't think Jolnag is going to be very well appreciated in this world, so I think we could send it. Oh, neither would Daniel. Huh.
Okay,
Do we have any idea where that tree came from?
That tree came from my world.
Yeah, from Zook's. The tree knew the names of forests and rivers from where Zook was from.
Okay, just forests and rivers. Got it.
So my epilogue is taking him back to my world and going back to my world. At least that's what it seems like right now.
Okay. So you send Fred and Daniel to escort Jolnag to the monastery of Zrazak. And is the next step to find the Shadow Crossing and head towards Dominos?
Yeah, well, we know where the shadow. Well, I guess we know in general, theoretically, where it is.
Yeah,
well, yeah, you know right where the Shadow Crossings are, and you know how to get to Dominos from there. Yeah, you guys did all that research last week. That was a team effort getting all that together, for which I commend you. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the Dancing Hut of Baba Yaga. That was by far the strongest villain I've ever thrown at a group of players in a D&D game.
That was pretty tough, yeah.
I have to say that's one of the closest fights I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing this game for 15 years, and I've never had one that was that touch and go.
Be very careful with what follows that, Nick.
I was worried. I was worried for a while.
It would have been easier if Nick had been there, but then again, maybe Orphan would have just got dominated, would have punched all of you to death. I don't know.
That would have been a thing that could have happened. Yes.
No, it couldn't, because Orphan's magic abilities are literally to end dominate.
That's true. So she would have been dominated for one turn, and then as her action, she can end. Well, the thing is, though, it says as an action you can end the ability, but if you're dominated, you have to use your action doing whatever they told you to do.
Yeah.
I would have to read up the class feature and make a ruling on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems like
Tarin.
Yeah.
weird.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you this information because now that you know your shield is cursed, whenever you reduce damage using the resistance bestowed on the shield, it'll store it up to 50 points.
That's pretty much what I figured.
Once it meets or exceeds 50 points of resisted damage, all of the gems of that corresponding color will explode, dealing that much damage in a 10-foot radius. For some reason, you take a shitload of cold damage. I don't know where it all came from.
It's because I took 2 blasts from Godzilla.
Oh, that's right, you did. Right now, I've got listed you have 8 points of fire, 3 points of thunder, and 6 points of necrotic on the shields.
So it's not really a curse so much as a design flaw.
It's not so much a curse as at some point we're gonna have to telekinesis this thing next to our enemies and then throw fireball.
Oh, that's a
That is
badass
a
idea.
beautiful idea.
So,